What's up, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of One versus One. I am your host, Hellrazor, and joined with me today is FadedPez, the community coordinator from Red5 Studios. How you doing today,
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. So, for those of you that have never joined us on this show, basically it's an interview show where we just get people that are in the gaming industry. They don't really have to have really any role. It could be a player on an esports team, or it could be a community manager like Faded. So just kind of getting a wide variety of people to be able to come on the show and just talk about who they are, what they did to be able to get to where they were, and the choices that kind of led them there. And then see if they have any advice for people that want to maybe get into the same roles that they have or have similar aspirations. So why don't we jump right into it, Faded?
Sounds great.
Cool, man. Where are you from, and where were you born?
I was born in New York,
Born in New
and
York.
that's right. I kind of moved around quite a bit, like, I don't know, every 4 years. I lived in Canada, like just north of Toronto, Woodbridge and Newmarket, for those of you who may be familiar with the area. And I also, probably the bulk of my life, I lived in New Jersey.
Ah, Jersey. I hear a lot of that Eastern in your voice.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. My mom was from over there, so they say things like dog.
That's more New York.
Yeah.
Way more New York. Brooklynish.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what exactly does the community coordinator do for Red5?
Everything is boss tells to do.
Everything that... And Phobos is your boss, right?
Yeah.
And so that's got to be pretty cool and pretty laid back with Phobos.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. A lot of stuff like community engagement, getting out there, talking to everyone, making sure people are happy, making sure that the proper message is being conveyed out on the forums and stuff like that. Getting in game and talking to people there, playing with people there, seeing what people are doing, taking their bugs, reporting them. Everything you basically see us do, that's kind of what we do.
No, that's awesome. For those of you that are joining us and you don't know about Red5, you need to go and check them out. You can see, go to firefallthegame.com. That is the game that they are working on. They also do a lot of other things like cosplay and a few other things, and you can find that on their YouTube. I think that is Red5 Studios, if I'm correct, right?
Our YouTube is, if you just go to stage5.tv.
Stage5 TV, I'm sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
But they are making the game Firefall, which is, if you haven't heard about it, one of the most kind of talked about games because it's been around for a while and being in development for a while, but it's changed so much, and they have so many aspirations for the game. Like, they're taking a game and really trying to make it for everybody. So go ahead and check that out. So how did you get your job working for Red5? What was the process in that?
So a lot of people that have been around for a while have know that I've started out moderating the forums from when the game was announced. That was basically Phobos and I have known each other for a very long time, like since 98, 99. He asked me to tend to the forums while the company was at PAX unveiling the game, so I did. And then he decided to keep me on as a volunteer moderator. And I did that for about a year, and then the community coordinator position opened up, and I called them up, and I was like, hey, I'm kind of interested in that. And, they went through their process and, weighed all their options. And I got hired.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So it's good to know people then, huh?
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. A lot of people is just, like, getting into the industry is a lot, like, just knowing people.
And you and Phobos were in a clan in Tribes, right? The original Tribes?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, right on. So that's really cool that you guys were you kind of just played a game together and now you're working together.
Yeah. And we also have Afex played with us, and he's one of our senior web devs at Red5 too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you want to work in the gaming industry? Like, what was the drive there?
I'm a gamer at heart. I play games forever, like in my life anyway. I play games for for as long as I can remember, and it's always just been like that kind of dream thing to do.
Right on. So did you see yourself programming, or did you just kind of want to do anything that was in the industry?
Um, I can more or less take anything, but I learned that I wouldn't be a programmer back in the Tribes days when I was like for fun coding my own little IRC bot, and it was like some of the sloppiest crap you would ever written or you would ever read in terms of code. It was just terrible. So, and I just don't kind of have the patience for that kind of stuff. So, mad respect out to all the programmers out there. Good on you all. But yeah, I mean, it was just something. It's just like I honestly didn't think I'd be jumping in on the community end, but it's really cool. Well, I didn't be thinking I'd be jumping into the industry at all, but
So you like to interact with people, though, right? Like, you're always on the forums. You're probably one of the more active members at Red 5 that's always on the game. Like, every time I log in, you're playing pretty much.
yeah, well, yeah, I love interacting with people. I mean, it's part of my job, but I love doing it. Not just like in the game and on the forums, but also when we go to conventions and go to shows. It's like one of the most exciting things. Like go to PAX and start talking to people, and they're excited about the game, and I'm excited about the game, and everyone's just excited. So it's great.
Right on. And you guys you and Phobos are going to go to PAX Prime this year?
I'm pretty sure we are.
Cool. Yeah, I already got my tickets, and I think that a bunch of the VexX guys, I think we're going to have like 13 or 14 people there, hopefully. So we're going to be an army.
Nice.
Absolutely. So what were some of the games growing up that you played? Could you tell me, like, nail down a few of your favorites that really stick with you?
Oh my goodness. Berserk, Yar's Revenge, for Atari. I don't know why, but they still stick with me. Street Fighter 2 and broken SNES controllers. Just because I always try to play on the hardest difficulty, and I'm pretty young, and I suck at the game, and I'm sitting there throwing them at the screen. Big old CRT TVs,
Absolutely.
um, that kind of stuff. So, all that, and then I'd have to say, like, I was pretty much a console gamer up until my friend got me into Tribes, and then it was like Tribes, and then like apparently my cat wants to weigh in. Um,
I heard him.
so it was like all about Tribes, and then yeah, and then another big one for me was Star Wars Galaxies. Everyone, I don't know, it wasn't like the best game in the world, but it had such a huge impact on me because of like it was so community driven and it was just so much fun doing a social thing in that game. And then of course World of Warcraft. Got sucked into that for a long time, and now you know. Um, another one that I always forget, but I played so much. Battlefield 1942.
All right.
What a fantastic game that was.
Yeah, that was a great game. Absolutely. Um, I didn't really get into the WoW scene, but some of those games that you're talking about, especially those old Atari games, man, I had my picnic day with those games back in the day. One of the
The Indy
games.
500 game with the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the games that really stuck with me was Golden Axe from back then. That game was
Oh yeah.
amazing. Um, so who were your role models? The people that you looked up to growing up. Did you have somebody that you were like, man, I wish that I could do what he does, or did you have who were the people that really helped you out?
Uh, I don't know if I ever had any. Not that I could think of. I mean, I never really like looked at one person and said, yes, that's it. That's what I want to be. It was like, it was probably like a mix between a whole bunch of things, but I never really sat down and said, hey, this is my role model. This is who I want to be.
Right on. So there was, it was just kind of, falling into knowing the right people and then just kind of going about your own path, as opposed to maybe just saying, hey, I want to do what this guy does. Like, this guy is whoever they want to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's cool. Man, going back on the games that we were talking about, Star Wars Galaxies was one of those games that I think that had an impact on everybody that played it, positive or negative. That game, there are still people that that are like crying out for them to bring Star Wars Galaxies back. I even think that there's still an operational emulator that
Yep, used to play the emulator. They
yeah.
have like 3,000 people playing it.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's pretty impressive, and when you have a game kind of like what you guys are doing with Firefall, it really kind of caters to everybody because that's what Star Wars Galaxies did. I mean, you didn't have to do PvP if you didn't want to. You could sit in a bar and play music for people, and literally you would still have like a role in the world and play a factor. And I thought that was so amazing.
Yeah, I mean that was like the big thing about it. Like, probably one of the memories that sticks with me and why I liked it was I was part of this guild called Dark Suns on the server Intrepid, and basically we had it was probably the biggest guild on the Intrepid, one of the, and we had a meeting one day and it was like, hey, we need to figure out how we can all be rich. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up mining outposts, and we're gonna assign lieutenants to these mining outposts, and then you're gonna go over there and give them your lots, and then put down all these harvesters, and basically come back once a week and collect a check. It's like, well, this is pretty cool. So I could just like do whatever I want, keep my little house, and then give him 9 lots, and then collect all this money. And it's just like, and it worked. It was cool. Like, just like everyone's just coming out with these crazy schemes all the time, and you could just do that kind of thing. And it's not like it wasn't about like loot and drops and stuff like that. Like, yeah, there was some, but it was mostly like you had badass armor crafters, and people made the vehicles, people made the houses, people made the armor and weapons and everything, and you didn't just find it. So like you had those reliances where it's like, I'm a fighting guy, I'm gonna go out and kill all this stuff and give you this stuff, and you're gonna make me stuff with it. Just like they had like the bioengineer or whatever to get a Komodo dragon. It was like you needed all this stuff, so I took the bioengineer with me, killed a whole bunch of stuff, and they just extracted all the essences, and it was just cool, like the way everyone needed to work together to get their stuff.
No, and I think that's it right there. Is they found the perfect balance between sandbox and theme park. Like it wasn't exactly a sandbox game because when people think like sandbox, they think full loot, like Darkfall, where you're gonna get killed, you're gonna get ganked, you're gonna get all of your stuff taken. And it was a little less than that, but it still had that you know world where it felt like it was a sandbox because like you're saying everything had to have been crafted if you wanted the best stuff, and the progression in that game was ridiculous. When I first started, before I can't remember what the name of the patch was, but before they nerfed Jedi and they made it like instant, you had to work.
Yeah, yeah.
You had to work to become a Jedi. Like that was a process. So it was one of those games that really did have something for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Jedi. Another memorable moment for me was helping my friend grind his Jedi. So you had the 4 holocrons, and it tells you which professions to max out. Then you had the 5th one, which is silent, and he so you have to guess which one it is. And he went through all 32, and I helped him grind out all 32. Um, and then he
Oh
quit the
man.
game. So I'm like running around in this Jedi, learning, playing around, and we had this known Dark Jedi, Sith Lord on our server who could take on like 50 people. Like, guy he was a master, he was a badass, and he's been around for a while. So I'm like training out on like Endor or something like that, like trying to like hide, and he just rolls up on me, like one shots me, and he's like, "I'm not gonna kill you. Remember this day," and then takes off. I'm like, well, that was badass.
Absolutely, and things like that happened all the time. Like, and so many people stopped playing that game when they just gave Jedi away. Like, a lot of people were really upset because the people like your buddy that had to grind out endless stuff to get what they wanted to get, and then all of a sudden it was like, give this chick a rose. You're a Jedi.
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with the NGE, and they changed the combat system, right? Because they saw WoW was being successful and it was working, so it's like we need to make our gameplay like that in order for it to continue to work. And it's like, actually, this was way before WoW. The NGE came out. It's just EverQuest was 2 was coming out, and it's just like we need to change the way this all works. And it's like,
Yeah, they were changed.
no, you don't. I mean, not to say like before that it wasn't perfect. I mean, you had all kinds of problems like defense stacking, cookie cutter builds. Like it wasn't balanced at all in terms of combat, but it was still fun.
No, I absolutely agree. But that was, the chasing the hype of the WoW days, where people just they wanted to get a piece of that pie, and they were trying to do everything that they could to get the same success as WoW. I don't think it still has been found. Like, I don't think anybody still can really compete with WoW.
Um, Not on their playground, no. I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, it's just too many, in my opinion, too many. It's been out for 8 years, and too many games come out, and
That,
having tried to do the same thing for, it's just, it's the idea is done.
yep,
In my
I
opinion.
totally agree. I totally agree. It's time to start expanding things, and that's why Firefall is really exciting to me, because you guys are really doing a lot of things different and breaking outside of that mold. And I'm really hoping that people look at that and they say, yeah, this works a lot better, because you're right. It's like been beating a dead horse. There's so many games that are literally cookie cutter, and it's very bland.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying since like year 5 or 6 a while, it's just like, we need something new. I don't know what it is, but we need something new. Like, because you have like Age of Conan comes out, War comes out, it's like, these are all the same, and they're cool, but it's like I'm still, and even Rift, it's like I'm still completing this area by doing collect quests, this and that, and then moving in and onto the next area doing the exact same thing. Now Rift threw in the whole, static dynamic event thing, which was cool, but from my perspective, after a while, it was like kind of like I just kind of want to get on with this place, go away.
Right. Yeah, and I think Terra had kind of the same thing. Like, it was a cool combat system, but essentially it was just that on top of the exact same thing that's been done for the past 10 years. Well, I think I've got one more question for you. What suggestions would you have for someone that's trying to get into the gaming industry?
Uh, Jeez. I just get out there and be people, man. Like, I don't mean like be annoying and like be in someone's face all the time, but shake hands, meet people, you know, try and get into those betas, try and give like good feedback to the people. I mean, because people do watch that kind of stuff, and it's just like as long as you're pretty much cool and you know people and they know you can be cool, it's probably gonna. I mean, aside from like your training and all that stuff, like going to school for design or going to school for art or um, programming and all that stuff, it's just um, get into the community and know people, go to conventions and meet people.
So basically, networking, and don't be an ass.
More or less. It networking helps a lot. So
Right on. So I think that's about it. If you got any shout-outs or anything that you'd like to do.
nah, I don't got any shout outs today.
No
Just trying
shout-outs
to think
today.
of some like, cool ones, but
Haha,
yeah,
Phobos.
no shout outs. I'm
All right. Well.
jeez.
Well, I think that's about it. I don't have any more questions for you. I want to thank you for showing up tonight. I know that we were supposed to do this earlier, and that was my fault. I told Faded to be here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, and obviously I can't do math very well. So I messed up, and I'm really sorry about that. So next time we will be on time, and I thank you guys all for coming out. Again, thank you, Faded. And make sure you go check out firefallthegame.com.
Sweet, thanks.
And I'm going to play the outro. This one is designed for YouTube, so keep in mind the boxes will be empty, but I just want to play it to see what it looks like. So you guys have a good one, and thanks for watching.